All right, does that work? Yeah. All right. Justin's a little bit better. Okay, hopefully that does not drop. All right, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let's see if we can edit. Anybody in the chat? What is going on? If I live streamed all the time, this would be a little different. All right. So when people start joining, then we will get this going. I just don't really like to talk in my live streams unless people are in the live stream. So, hey, Kaylee, we're back. Instagram DM'd you the question. Yeah, I got that. I also screen capped what was in the chat when that was originally there um, from Rachel. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 messages. No, you're not Rachel, you're Kaylee. So I'm just making sure that that's another YouTuber and not you. I just want to make sure. I'm terrible with names, so I deeply apologize. Um, but I know people sometimes have like 2 channels, 2 accounts, so I get confused sometimes with that. But are those messages from you, from Rachel Chase, or is that from someone else? Oh, okay, okay, all right, all right. I was confused for a second. Now I'm okay. All good now. Okay. Now those are the questions that you sent me to Instagram that were in the original chat, or were more added to that. I believe it was just 5. I copied everything. Okay. All right. All right. Do you want me to start with your questions? Do you want to start there, and then we could do like a watch party kind of thing um, after? Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. What I'm gonna do, because I got this messed up, sadly, unintentionally. Always happens to me every time I live stream. There's always an issue. Also, I've never live streamed on my iPhone before. How does it look? The quality? Like, is this better than my iMac, or do you prefer my iMac? The iPhone really gets the reflection on my glasses like really bad. But like where my iPhone is right now, it's harder to see. When I have my computer right here, I can read messages better. So this is really just a test. This doesn't mean that I'm going to actually use my iPhone for live streams. In the future, I'm gonna get a new webcam um, and microphone down the road. I mean, actually did get a new microphone, and I got 2 new ones for when I was making the movie, like the post-production process. So I have to start using that mic, but I definitely got to get a new camera for this, though. Like, live streams in 2025, you want the quality to be good. I want the quality to be good, and people have politely voiced their opinions about the quality of my videos. That it gives 2010 vibes and stuff. Because the webcam on my iMac is 2017. So yeah, I do need to upgrade and everything. But I've just been making my movies and focusing on all that stuff. I haven't had the time to focus on just my channel itself and live streaming and that kind of stuff. So now I can get back into that now. I can get back into that now, now that the movie's completed. But yeah, anyway, let's get going. Let's get started with this. Um, I just want to share the link of the live stream to my Facebook because it all got messed up. Um, that was just not my intention at all, was for that to happen. I was really hoping that wasn't going to happen, but it's all okay. It's okay. Stuff happens. It happens. You know, but the matters is that it's working right now. All right, post it on my Facebook. And I'd say post that on my second channel. I mean my Facebook page as well. And then we're gonna get into this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. And if you're wondering about my voice, I've been under the weather the last couple days. Um, I don't know like what it is, but it could be so much stress and anxiety from the movie, how much I overwhelm myself throughout all these last like 4 months on this film. So I could be just like exhausted. But I am exhausted. But I'm like, am I sick because I'm exhausted, or did I catch something? I don't know. But I think I'm fine though. Okay. So, all right. Now more people are informed, aware um, about the live stream, and so now I can really get started with this. All right. All right, Kaylee, here we go at reading the questions. And this is also, I mean, this is from Rachel. Now, is this questions from both of you guys, or um, uh, is this from both of you guys, or is this just from Rachel? Dude, you're a trooper. The post-production turned around on this flick was super fast and quality too. Thank you. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Yeah, editing process was making the movie all over again. It really was. New Ghostface was like that too. But New Ghostface, I'm used to making Scream fan films because I made 6 of them already, so since 2010. Um, so it wasn't like it was new territory. Nightmare on Elm Street, I'd never made a Nightmare fan film before, so this was uh, all new to me, all new to me. And so going through the writing process, the filming process, and the editing process was different from unlike any other movie that I've worked on, honestly. The questions are from my sister, but the review on the actual vid was all mine, though we watched it together. Okay, okay. Yeah, I got your review on my video on the movie. I read it. Amazing review, by the way, Kaylee. Thank you so much for that review. That's probably the best review I've ever gotten from any of my subscribers. I mean, the way you wrote that and how well worded it was. I mean, that was that was awesome. But I'm going to start with Rachel's questions. I'm going to go to the very beginning, basically both of you guys' questions. Um, all right. All right. So the first question right here. Gonna be asleep by the time that this goes out, but I just wanted to ask a couple questions. Hope this is recorded. First, thanks for bringing Freddy back to life. I loved Rise of Elm Street. Thank you, Rachel. Second, I just wondered if the lightning in the ending of Rise of Elm Street was a reference to Friday the 13th Part 6, with lightning being the thing that resurrects Jason, so maybe lightning could bring Freddy back. Ooh, I didn't think of that at all, actually. I did not think of that at all. No. No, that was just for effect at the end. I wanted rain, I wanted lightning and thunder, and I just wanted that like cinematic quality to it. Like at the end of a movie, you want a lot of atmosphere. I love a lot of atmosphere at the end of my movies. I feel like endings should be atmospheric. And so it was really for the dramatic effect. It wasn't really because of Friday the 13th. But um, in my Friday the 13th crossover fan film, The Miner versus Jason, a Ghostface story, I had Jason be resurrected in that film with lightning. And that was really cool. It was the first time I ever experimented with like lightning CGI effects and stuff. That was really, really cool. Um, so I love the concept, the story of Jason coming back to life and lightning bringing him back to life, and I love that. But no, I did not think of that. But that is a brilliant uh, theory. I guess I would say a brilliant theory and idea. That's just really really cool, Rachel. Thank you. Um, uh, but yeah, lightning could bring Freddy back. I always have my theories that Freddy Krueger really was the one that brought Jason back, and Jason lives. Um, that's always been sort of my theory that Freddy created zombie Jason, like part 6 and up Jason. Um, to me, it makes a lot of sense as well. But and that's something that they could have like went into if they would have made a Freddy versus Jason 2 and all that. But all right, your next question was you and your Freddie really had some amazing moments together, very tense and dramatic. It felt so personal, especially because Danny's mom and uncle were killed by Freddie. You could feel their loss. Yeah, yeah. Um, thank you, thank you. Um, yeah, it was it was when I was making those scenes with my uncle Gary when he was playing Freddy Krueger, I knew that it had to be scary, it had to be intense. I knew it had to have elements of humor. It had to have elements of comedy, not too much, like it's not like part 5, part 6, cheesy, like no, like even though I'm a huge fan of Dream Warriors and I love the Dream Master, I love that movie. Um, and I know that's it's debatable, Dream Master, but uh, I preferred Freddy to be more serious, more scary, and I kind of like seeing what I hope to see if they, if we get a Nightmare reboot. Um, uh, I want Robert Englund to play Freddy Krueger forever. Like I really do. Almost to the point where, hey, let's AI generate. Robert Englund should just like, you know, sell his like AI, or I don't know what you call it, but like use his, like for future, they ever want to make a nightmare movie, they could just, use like AI of Robert Englund and just, and CGI and all that. And like, and it's always, Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. I mean, James Earl Jones did that before he died, when he gave the rights to his voice of Darth Vader. I believe Harrison Ford did that for Indiana Jones as well. Like movies are, I mean, like actors are doing that more and more. Um, and I don't know. Obviously, they don't have the money for that, Warner Brothers. But so we all have to accept that we will have a new Freddy Krueger at some point. That it won't be Robert Englund, and we have to give that actor a chance. We can't just um, be like, "Oh, there's a new actor. I'm not going to give him a chance." Now, if he sucks, then that's different. But if he's very very close to Robert Englund, we definitely should give him a chance. Because if we're gonna if the Nightmare series is going to continue, they have to start with someone else. Sadly, um, but um, I hope that we see Dream Master Freddy Krueger, but like Freddy's Revenge, like a mix of Freddy's Revenge and the original, and like Dream Master Freddy kind of like mixed together. Which is, they kind of did that with Freddy versus Jason, but I feel like they could make him even scarier than that. So I would love to see like a like in the middle, but still more scary, because today's audience, I think, wants to see a scarier Freddy. Um, so, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with those scenes with my Uncle Gary. It was just surreal, just filming scenes where Freddy Krueger was right there. I mean, the mask he wore, it was so realistic. And the dentures he had in his teeth, and like the glove, and I mean, just the way we set up that basement, the lights and everything, like it was just, it felt like I was living a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. It felt like I was in a dream. Like it felt dream-like. And I don't know how to explain it. It was just it was a lot of fun though. It was probably the most fun I've had with my Uncle Gary. Um, I have a lot of memories with him in my life. I mean, it goes all the way back to when I was back to the 90s, and he was like an older brother to me, and he had like the PlayStation 1, he had the PS2, Xbox, and I played video games with him all the time. And he would take me and my family out to eat, and um, like he would take us to the movies. Like he was such a fun uncle growing up. And I remember talking to him in 2010 about wanting him to play Freddy Krueger, and it wasn't the time. I mean, not only it wasn't necessarily that he didn't want to do it, it was just that there wasn't like the mask and makeup effects. Like there wasn't any of that yet. Like in 2010. Now you can find, you can go to Spirits, you can go to, I mean, you can find everything online now to really make a good looking fan film, with the quality and the effects, for a low budget. That wasn't the case back in 2010. It was a lot more challenging then. And um, so it just wasn't the time, even though I wanted to make it really, really bad. So I went ahead and made my Scream fan films. I did more Halloween movies, Friday the 13th, like My Bloody Valentine, The Miner, like all these other slashers from other horror movies, even my own, The Devil Servants. There's a Devil Servant, movies. So that was all fun. But this was a bucket list movie. Rise of Elm Street was a bucket list film, and the fact that I got to make it, was just it still hasn't fully hit me yet. Um, um, okay, so the fourth one, um, do you feel Danny's mom and or uncle were characters from the classic movies, or just random unlucky folks? Okay, so do you feel Danny's mom and okay, do you feel Danny's mom or uncle were characters from classic movies or just random unlucky folks. I honestly think that these characters are a lot from the Freddy versus Jason era because when that storyline was going on, there's that moment with uh it was I think it was Mark's character in Freddy versus Jason where he's like talking at the school and spreading that fear of Freddy to everyone. And so I sort of have like a theory that his parents were like one of the were like those high school students. Like maybe they were in the hallway and they were listening to that. And like Freddie did sort of come back for like a little while. Like even though Jason destroyed him, Laurie destroyed him, it was like before Freddie fully went back to hell again. He was he was going into people's nightmares, but he was losing his ability to kill them. Like he didn't have that power anymore because it was almost like Jason took that away. Um, and it was like Freddie had to like recharge for like 10 years, 20 years for him to get all his power back in the dream world. So I think these characters are from that time, like 2003, the Freddy versus Jason era. Um, I don't think these are characters from the first six movies. That those storylines, those are just like way so far back. But they also could have been, yeah, because yeah, I would say the Freddy versus Jason era. Those were Danny's parents. And I'm not talking about Lori and Will, even though I do mention them in the movie. Like in the very beginning of the movie, my dad in the movie, he tells me that they've been in an institution in Springwood since the events of Freddy versus Jason because uh, no one believed them. They went to reporters, they went to everyone, and no one believed what they were saying. So they were put into, I guess, Weston Hills. That was, Freddy versus Jason, Weston Hills, and they've been there. They're there. They're still there. So that's the way I wrote that because I just making this fan film. I didn't want to ignore Freddy versus Jason. I didn't want to ignore any of that because I that was one of my favorite movies growing up. In fact, that was really my introduction to both Freddy and Jason as a kid. That was my introduction. It was a lot of our introductions to them, and that was an amazing experience that I watched it on VHS in 2004. Like it's just it takes me back, and it's just I couldn't ignore that movie. So yeah, I'd say that his parents are victims of Freddy from the Freddy versus Jason era, but but like after Freddy versus Jason, um, like not too long after that. But Freddy eventually lost his power because of Jason. So, um, all right, fourth question. Um, sorry, fifth. All right, no, fifth one. Finally, five. Could you walk us through how you achieved both the cinematic quality tracking shot of Danny walking through Elm Street when he leaves his house and is talking on the phone, plus Freddy burning? Yeah, yeah, I can talk about all this. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh, all right. So, how to achieve both that cinematic quality tracking shot of Danny walking through Elm Street? My sister filmed that. Um, uh, I I overall didn't have a camera crew on this movie, so I had to use tripods, and I had to be really creative. But like because I took film classes growing up, and like news classes, like in school, like they have like um they have like a news thing, and students, all come together and create like a whole summary of everything that's going on in the school and like news that is like reported, and then like everyone watches it like homeroom or like like kind of hour. um I was in those classes growing up, and I took video production classes, and so I was taught a lot of how to use a tripod and how to film with the tripod and how to make a movie with a tripod. And so I use the tripod in this more than a lot of previous movies, even though I've gotten so much better using tripods because they're that to me is that's the way to film movies. Um, uh, some shots just it just doesn't work with a tripod. Some shots have to be moving. You know, some shots have to the camera has to move with the character. You know, the camera has to be a part of the storytelling. And um, Danny walking on Elm Street, I just couldn't have these still shots of me walking. I wanted a shot, a nice panning shot, you know, a front shot of me walking, and you see Elm Street all around him. You get the atmosphere of everything all around him. And so that was filmed near my grandparents' house, and me and my sister, we filmed that for probably an hour. Um, and we got a few takes and two different camera angles, and that was a lot of fun. Um, I have anxiety when I'm outside. That's just who I am. So it's hard for me to film scenes outside. But I try, and I just try to, uh, I don't know, tough it out. But at the same time, my mind is so excited on these films, and I'm living in my own like world, creative world of like those movies, that the anxiety is not as bad. Um, but yeah, it's definitely hard, but I wanted a really, really good shot. And so I thank my sister for that. She really did a good job filming that. And that's how I achieved that tracking, the quality tracking of that shot. And I used an Osmo, not the latest Osmo, but the generation before that. I used the Osmo camera because the Osmos, they're amazing. Not just, I mean, the quality, but that the camera moves with the person. And that's what I love about the Osmo. Just if you use an iPhone camera, you use a Canon camera, it's a little odd, but with an Osmo, it it moves perfectly. It moves smoothly. The camera moves smoothly, and it feels very cinematic. So, um, yeah, that's how I got that shot created. Um, and then uh, when I leave the house, um, that is all tripod shots that I had, or it was the tripod shots, or it was my Uncle Gary filming in terms of the interior scenes in the house. But like if we're talking about the scene where I'm outside, that was um, when I'm running out of the house, that's my Uncle Gary. He filmed that of me running out of the house. And then when I catch up with Jess at the end of the movie, that was Cassidy filming that on the Osmo, not on the sorry, not on the Osmo, on the iPhone. And what I did with that scene is because it takes place at night, I had to darken it. Not only that, but I knew the scene was going to have rain, so I had to add digital rain. I had to color the whole footage like dark blue and nighttime mode, and really give it that night look. And I love to get natural lighting from a movie and really get that. It's just really difficult, especially when you're super, super low budget and you don't have all the crew members in the world, you know, to stand here and get this shot at this exact moment. And oh, we got the lighting here, you know, like I don't have that, you know, kind of accessibility. So I have to be really creative. And so not only that, but be me in Asia, we had to spray water on us. We had to like squirt like all this water on our hair and our face and stuff to make it look like we were like wet, like we were in rain. So when digital rain was added, it would look like we were like soaking in rain. So it was really like mixing practical effects with CGI, mixing those two. And um, because I don't like to do everything CGI. Only time you will see CGI in my movies, like if you see that anything digital, it's because I couldn't get that shot practically done. If I could have gotten that shot practically, I would have shot that practically. You know, body double. Um, I mean, just like I would go as practical as I possibly could because I love practical effects. I love practical effects. CGI, you know, it's great as long as it's not overused. Um, but the CGI definitely helped me with this. I have to give a special shout out to Production Crate um, for their website that they offer these effects and you can use them and put them in your movie and place them where you want to. It takes a lot of time of rendering, a lot of rendering, and uh, but like once the rendering is done, after the effects are put in the right places, then it becomes a film. But yeah, like the ending with the house on fire and all that. Like if I had a legit like high budget movie and I could just literally just burn a set down, I would just burn a set down. I wouldn't just do CGI. Like I would want it to look as real as possible. So hopefully that answered all of your questions, Rachel. And thank you so much for all your compliments and everything. Thank you so much. Thank you for your comments. And thank you as well, Kaylee. Those were great. Thank you. The only AI I would respect is Robert AI England. Yeah, that does sound catchy too. Robert AI England. That does sound good too. I like that. I like that. Um, yeah, yep. I mean, is it a bad idea? When everyone's like, nobody can be Freddy Krueger but Robert England. You know, I don't think it's such a bad idea. Because now, anytime Darth Vader is used in a movie, it's always going to be James Earl Jones' voice, the AI of James Earl Jones. So yeah, I'm just saying, um, AI is pretty cheap nowadays. Tech nerds are amazing at it. His voice is still amazing. Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't like AI. I don't. I really don't. But if we're gonna look at any good thing that AI could do, that's something that actually could be good. Is to AI Robert Englund. Now, only with his permission, though. Only with his permission. Um, if they they don't get his consent, then no. Then yes, you have to go the route of casting a new actor. But if Robert Englund is like, yeah, sure, and he like records maybe some like footage for the AI, and like does some audio work, says some movie lines, and they kind of like create a archive library of Robert Englund of like his voice, and they just kind of give him all these like, one-liners and stuff, and they just kind of like save it all, so like when they do AI him, it's not like every single time he talks, it's AI generated. It's actually a lot of it is like from what he recorded as well. So I think it's a good idea, even though I don't like AI. I think it's something that could work, especially that AI keeps getting better and better. But yeah. So thank you for your questions. So now we can do a watch party live now. Kaylee, um, they could also hire a body double so he doesn't have to hurt his body. Yeah, yeah. Like I thought I almost think that they could do before they would like not ever want to before like they'd stop using Robert Englund forever. If they would do something like the Candyman remake, where like um uh Tony Todd didn't show up till the very end of that movie, and he had like that line, "Tell everyone," and that was like a really chilling, cold moment. Um, I, it's like they could do that with a Nightmare movie, where throughout the movie, Freddy's in the shadows. The steam is covering him. You can't see him. You can only hear his voice throughout the film, and you don't really see Freddy until the very very end, and then you get like a iconic quote moment of Robert Englund. You get one last kind of moment, a send off, and then the movie ends, and it feels like the final movie really. Like it's like you know this is how they should end the Robert Englund Freddy Krueger era, and I think that would be really cool because they could easily just have Robert Englund come in on set for like 2 days, and then get voice work from him, and he could just record in the audio booth. Um, I think that something like that would be really cool. Is like the Candyman, what they did with the Candyman movie. I think they could do with Nightmare. Um, but you know, it's up to Warner Brothers. It's up to New Line. You know, it's not up to me, and it's not up to us fans. But you know, all we can do is hope. You know. Um, but yeah. If you're ready for the to watch the movie, Kaylee, I will pull the movie up on my computer, and we'll watch it at the exact same time. And then I'll have the movie like muted, and you can have the movie muted as well if you want, and you can ask me questions as the movie's playing. Like I can do a commentary, you know, of it. Um, so let me go to. Oh wait, that's the trailer. Oh no, nope. Okay, sorry, my bad. All right, all right. What are you saying? I'm sorry. Let's go. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. All right, I'll let you know when I start the movie. All right. So anybody that's in here that is about to watch Rise of Elm Street, or you guys want to watch it with me, we're about to start it. So if you have the movie pulled up, I'm going to give everyone about 10 seconds, and then I'm going to start the movie. All right, I'm going to do the countdown now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. All right, here we go. It's playing. Fear exists inside all of us. Fear is something we all face and confront. Monsters exist due to our fear. The less we fear the monsters and confront them, the less powerful they become. Hope you guys like that quote. That was just something in there I wanted to put. Arbor Shortman 13 logo. That's my new one, guys. I wanted to give it like the old school New Line Cinema logo to it. So let me mute myself on this on my computer because I have the live stream open on my computer. Okay. I'm not gonna have the movie up like super loud. I just want to have it to a certain level. All right. The quote at the beginning gives me so much nostalgia for the classic film series from New Line. Awesome. Thank you, thank you. I was nervous about that quote, if people would like it or not. But so these shots all here were shots that I filmed back in the spring. Um, and then also these shots here are all from LA and Pasadena, California, when I was at the Halloween 45 Years of Terror convention. These shots all here were the bus tour. So like the Myers house, not the Doyle's house, Annie's house, the hedge, like from the original Halloween, the house from Liar Liar, um, a lot of like houses that were used in a lot of movies. Or in there, the Wallace's house. That is the Fog Church, and I took a picture where John Carpenter sat as well. That was a lot of fun. So that is a church that I shot when I was at the bus tour in when I was in LA. That shot there is Halloween 2. That was the beginning of Halloween 2, the movie when Michael is like hiding. That is Glenn's house from the original Johnny Depp's house. That's the Nightmare house. And those are one shot of the Nightmare House is from me, and then the other one is from Davey Johnson, which I thank so much for letting me use his archive footage. And then that Elm Street shot there, that sign was actually real. I filmed that this spring and try to get the best shot as possible. Because the movie's called Rise of Elm Street. You want to open the movie with Elm Street, you know? I mean, with the sign. I mean, what's the point? you know. And I was undecided if I was going to call it Rise of Springwood, but I decided Rise of Elm Street was uh, a more, I don't know, just was a better title to me. So here's me. This is the first night of filming the movie. This was filmed after the scene of me and Uncle Gary in the kitchen where I'm talking to my dad and all that exposition and stuff. So this was all filmed the first day of filming. This was March 28th, I believe. It was March 28th and 29th of 2024. I was filming all the Freddy Krueger scenes with my Uncle Gary in Montgomery, Chicago, Illinois. Um, and I love this scene. I absolutely love this scene because it's interaction like with both characters. Like he grabs me by the throat, and it's just so like brutal and intense and scary, and yeah, that was just a lot of fun to film with Uncle Gary. Just the whole movie was fun, but that scene was fun. This was filmed in the guest room when I was staying at Uncle Gary's. This is not my room. This is how my room would not look as well. But I don't think Danny is a fan of horror movies. He seems like the kind of character that doesn't like horror films. He's opposite of me. First aid kit. Well, my uncle has such a nice house, like really nice house. It's that like Chicago suburban kind of like house. This is where he's putting the bandage on me, and if I could go back, I would have reshot this. I would have done that differently and putting the bandage on me. But when we were filming this, we were so exhausted by this point. We were filming for like 16 hours the first night. I mean, the first day of filming the movie, and by the time we were filming this scene here, we were just done, and we had so much left to film that we just didn't have the time to reshoot uh, this scene here. But if I could go back, I would definitely reshoot it for sure. Now, this music here is a callback to Nancy when she's hiding coffee from her mom, and she drinks the coffee. So you hear that ding 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 ding. I wanted to make a callback to the original movie with that. Especially that was in the true story of what Wes Craven, the inspiration of like how of Nightmare was the person that I mean, with the story that Wes Craven read, that the person did hide like a coffee pot in his room. So it definitely like it stays true to Nightmare for sure. Now that house is Johnny Depp's house, Glenn's house. That was a photo taken from Davey Johnson that I met at the Halloween 45 Years of Terror convention. I met him on the bus tour. Met him on the bus. Me and my sister we met him there, and that was super cool. Rest is history. But I thank him for letting me use all his footage because he's been to the previous conventions in Pasadena, and he just had shots that I was able to use. So now here is Carla from Cage of Madness Part 2 and New Ghostface. Um, she originally was supposed to play a much bigger role in this movie. She was going to play Liam's character. But Carla was very busy at the time, and so I couldn't get her for a major role. But I was able to get her for a small role because I still wanted her to be in the movie, and I needed an actor for that character. So she did it, and I'm really grateful she did, and I'm happy. But yeah, it is too bad that she wasn't able to play Jamie, the character Jamie. I think that would have been really great. Liam did a great job, but I would have loved Carla as Jamie. This part here, this might be my favorite scene of the whole movie here. Because it's just scary. Like there's no dialogue of Freddy Krueger. He's not talking. He's just in the shadow, just walking to her, the steam, like the music, like it's just scary. Like when I was putting this movie together, this scene here, I'm like, how are people going to react to this scene? If I'm like at the edge of my seat and I filmed it, how are people going to be reacting? So now what I did with this movie is I went back to like Dream Warriors, Dream Master, not Dream, Dream Master, where like when the characters die, um, in the real world, people don't see like the actual like wounds and stuff. It just looks like someone died of like natural causes. I wanted to go back to that with this movie because I just think that's so horrific that no one knows that they were actually killed by Freddy Krueger. There's no kind of like anything that it just looks like that they, like that stuff's really scary. Um, and that wasn't introduced till Dream Master. But I love both of the concepts of people seeing what's happening from in the dream world in the real world. I do like that, but I also like what they did with Dream Master. So I kind of try to mix both, but I also have Freddy Krueger explain why he explains that later on in the movie, like in the third act when he's talking to Danny, because it was never established in the sequels about that. Like they never really went into that and like why that changed, and so like I wrote it to where Freddy Krueger has the power to show people what he does to his victims in the real world. So if he wants someone to see what he did, like he slashed them up and you see the slashes, that's what he wants you to see. But if he doesn't want people to see it, then he makes it look like natural causes. So um I was literally doing so much research on the franchise for like about a month and trying to figure out how do I explain this? How do I connect all the sequels in a way that's not overdone, but explains things that haven't been explained before. This was the very first scene that I filmed for the movie, was this scene here. And I had to wear this blue shirt, not every day of my life, of course, but every day for this movie from March till June of last year. Like I had to wear this shirt all the time and those jeans and the backpack. Like I couldn't wear anything else. My hair had to look the same, like because it had to look like the same day or like like the same 2 days, 3 days that this movie takes place. I didn't want it to look at all different. I wanted everything to feel like it's in one location because the movie was half filmed in Chicago, Illinois, Montgomery, Illinois. The other half was filmed here in Pennsylvania, and then the other half, and then like all the scenery shots were in LA and Pasadena. So it's me connecting all of those locations into one and making it feel like one, and making that work. So that was hard, but at the same time, it's fun when you can connect all these different locations and make it feel like the same location. This scene is where the dad explains everything about Freddy Krueger, what he knows about Freddy Krueger, the history about him. Um, he was a child murderer and he got his revenge from 1980 to 1999. And then 2003, he fought Jason and um, like all that stuff is in the scene. All that is explained. Laurie Campbell, Will Rollins are put in Weston Hills. So all that is like included in the scene. So the exposition is kind of you get it out of the way right away with the movie, rather than explaining everything like 20 minutes later, 30 minutes later. It's good to establish it in the first 10, 15 minutes of your film. Uh, King B, hey King B, question: won't you do Ghostface versus Ghostface? Not a bad idea, good concept, but no, I have not thought about it. Because I already did Ghostface versus Jason. Um, So I don't know. The crossover movies are very difficult to make because they're so huge, and so much is required for those movies, and um, I've just learned a lot since then that making smaller films are easier, um, and that I can do more with that. Trying to make a movie so huge and I don't even have like the budget for it. Um, I just get very nervous if something's going to look fake, and it's just like having to have the money to get the right costumes and makeup effects and all that. So, but Ghostface versus Ghostface is a very interesting concept. I didn't think of that because it's so simple. Yeah, Ghostface versus Ghostface. But that could really just work as just another Scream movie. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you for the suggestion. I may not make that movie, but thank you for the suggestion. So here's these scenes of the Elm Street house, and Elm Street neighborhood. And that was a thanks to Davey. That was a picture of the Elm Street house, of Nancy's house, before they changed the color of the door. It was originally red, and that's thankfully I got that picture from Davey in 2018. He took that in 2018. He sent it to me a few months ago, and so I'm glad I was able to use that because the photos I took of the Elm Street house, the door was black. It was no longer red. So, and I wanted it to be red in this movie. I didn't want it to be a different color. You know, that red on the door, you know, is it's so nightmare. Like, how do you not have the red on the door? So here's a scene where I'm walking home from school. Uh, my characters like Danny, Asia, Danny, Jess, Jamie, like they're all seniors in high school. They're close to graduating. They're all 17, and they're working on their lives, getting ready for college. They're getting ready for college, and that's just where their lives are at. Is just you know, focusing on their future, even though they don't quite know exactly what they want. You know, they're undecided of what they're doing with their life, but at the same time, they do know. But everything that's going on right now with Freddy Krueger and everything going on in Springwood is distracting them from focusing on their school, focusing on future of their college and all those things. That what's happening right now could interfere with the future plans of their life. And now Jess is asking Danny to come over to Jamie's house because Jess is hanging out with Jamie, and for all them just to kind of try to keep each other awake as friends and as long as possible, um, because like they know that eventually they'll have to fall asleep, but they want to stay up as long as they can. But this is I think first like nightmare like movie that um, the characters know that Freddy can't be destroyed. So even if it's like, yeah, we can destroy him, we can bring him into the real world and destroy him. But even if we do that, he'll still come back inevitably because he's eternal. So it's like this never-ending battle and never-ending war, and it's like they're accepting that. They're accepting that there is no conclusion to this ever. When in previous, you know, movies, like it's, you know, oh, I'm going to defeat Freddy Krueger and then that'll be it of him forever. When that's not the premise of this movie. It's you can only destroy Freddy for so long. So even though this movie may have a very like conclusive ending, it's not conclusive. Resident Evil 2 right there. That's one of my favorite video games. That's my favorite video game remake is Resident Evil 2. I love that game. I had to put that in this movie. Um, and that was fun. It was fun, like Resident Evil 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Some of my favorite video games I wanted to put in the movie. Because like in my movies, like the characters are like watching a movie, you know, or whatever. I've never really had a scene in any of my movies where the characters are playing video games, and you don't see that anymore. You know, in the Gen Z era, like they're all playing online. and talking online with their friends, and even though like their friend is literally right next door to them, they're still playing online instead of like playing split screen, and like I also come from a different time, before like online gaming was a thing, was really a thing, and I come from a time when people were playing split screen. You go over to your friend's house to play Halo. I mean that's how it was, and it's just kind of cool to kind of see these characters um, act in the way that they were in my generation when it comes to video games, when it comes to gaming. Because online gaming, it's taken away a lot of social interaction with your friends. Here is just more exposition, and character development. So going into Jess's character, Jamie's character, their relationship, their friendships that they have, and how they are. I gotta. Uh, Elm Street door is iconic. Yeah, the inevitability is so interesting and rewarding as a concept. Yes. Yep. Um. Uh. Or do Ghostface versus Freddy. I don't think that would work because Ghostface wouldn't exist without. Ghostface is in a meta universe, where Freddy Krueger is a movie, Michael Myers is a movie, Friday 13th, like all that's a movie. So I don't know how that. That's why it's hard to mix Ghostface with. Like, it's hard to have Ghostface versus another slasher because it's just your kind of, yeah. Love split screen. Goldeneye was awesome. Yep. Oh, it was. This is my mom here. She plays uh Jess's adoptive mom, and she knows about Freddy Krueger. She knows a lot of stuff, but she is like gaslighting them that like, oh, you don't what you're talking about. You're crazy. You're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. It's not real. Your dreams. Um, uh, it's good to have characters in a nightmare movie, of like the parents that know what's going on, but they don't like, they're not really talking about it. They're hiding it from, the kids. Like that's, it's just very Nightmare on Elm Street, and I had to incorporate those kind of characters. So I also had that line of dialogue. I'm going to Tyler's for the night, which is her boyfriend in the movie, um, not in real life, and that because she is going over to Tyler's, then it explains why the mom is not there. Like you have to explain those things in movies because it's like, well, these are kids, they're not adults. So where are the parents? So writing that the dad went on a business trip, the mom went over to her boyfriend's house for the weekend. Like writing that, adds realism to the story, and rather than you're watching it like, wait, where are the parents? You know, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 here. I have so many memories of this game. So many memories. And this is actually like recorded gameplay of me and my sister. Like we just played like a match of Call of Duty, and we used bots and stuff, and just record it just for the movie itself, just a video capture of that. So it's me and Cassidy playing, and then just kind of putting that into the movie. Now they're all talking about like, okay, what are we gonna do to stay awake? And they're like, okay, so we're gonna play card games, we're going to drink Red Bulls, we're going to play video games, we're gonna do, all these things to keep each other all awake and support each other. So that's what they're talking about. And then you get like the most character development here with Liam's character with Jessica, when she says, "It's my brother. I can't believe he died in that car accident. I hope I'm not next." Um, and this is to also show that Danny cares about his friends. He is supportive, and I wanted Danny to be a very likable character. Also because the last few movies that I've made, aside from New Ghostface, I've played the villain. I've played, the bad guy, the psychopath, and I just wanted to play just a decent human being for once in a movie. Just play like an average person, and not a psycho. Um, so that was fun playing this character. It was like, oh, finally I'm playing a character that's not so messed up in the head. He's just a kid in high school just trying to get by. And so it was like refreshing to just play a character that wasn't the villain, because I played the villain so many times. A lot of ADR was used in this movie. A lot of ADR was used, but that was to make the audio better. Yeah, that was so the music would sound better and all that stuff. Here we are eating the coffee grains. I had to spit it out right after. And Asia, like we both spit it out right after. I mean, it was so nasty. I was like rinsing that all out of my mouth for like 20 minutes. That was hilarious. Now this music here is thanks to Josh Gotworth. I asked him he's done other music for my movies, and he's was in Halloween New Blood. He played the boyfriend in that movie, um, and he's just a really good musician. And I wanted him to basically do like a remix of Call of Duty 6, Black Ops 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Black Ops 4, and like kind of like mix them together and kind of do something cool like that with like zombies and stuff. I wanted like a mix of different uh, sounds of Call of Duty music. Um, and it turned out great. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm really happy with it. Um, I don't play cards really. I mean, I don't play Skippo. This was just for the movie. I mean, I have family members and friends that do play Skippo, but I don't. I have no idea how to play Skippo. So I love this part here where I'm just like setting the cards down. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Because also these are, I don't know, Gen Zs that are on their phones and tablets and all this. They're not really, sadly, they're not playing card games and like that kind of simplicity anymore. There's still, people that do in that generation. But yeah. Now this here was something that I added in. This was an improvised scene here, because it wasn't in the script. Where I can't quite remember if it was in the script or not, but it's when he's showing everyone like what happened to him in the dream, and I don't think it was just something I thought about adding in the movie when I was writing the script and even filming the first half. But when I got to this part of filming the movie, I knew that I had to incorporate that because he, gets this whole bandage on his shoulder like this in the very beginning of the movie, and then to not see it at all later in the movie, I just felt like that was weird. But I love this transition here. I wanted to do some transitions like this because it's like the next day. And I didn't want to overdo the transitions, but I wanted to do just enough of them. There's firing range, the map, Call of Duty Black Ops. There's firing range and Nuketown are my favorite maps. Um, firing range at night, I prefer over daytime firing range. Um, but yeah, we weren't playing any video games here. Like we're pretending here, we're acting, we're literally pretending that we're like in our minds we had to visualize, what we were playing. We were literally looking at a blank screen, TV screen, and this was all added in post. This was not at all when we were filming the movie. But it turned out really well. It turned out really well. I have to thank my sister as well for all her help with how she helped me edit all the sound for the movie and mixing all the audio correctly and all that. She did an amazing job with that. Then here is Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies, and it is in a nightmare movie, Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. I mean, how cool. And this is the Titanic map in Black Ops 4, if anybody that plays Call of Duty. Um, uh, I just thought it was cool to add zombies in this. Um, but yeah, I mean, I thought about different video games to add, but I thought these were the best picks. Um, and Titanic is one of my favorite movies, so it was kind of cool to put this in here. Um, and yeah, because I remember when I first played that in Call of Duty, the Titanic map, I was like, "What?" when I first played it. So, but this is me and Cassidy playing it here, and then it was just recording that footage. So here the characters are really struggling to stay awake, and Liam is Jamie's character is pretty much just giving up. Like you just reach a point, you just pass out. Oh, so what is your next what? So what your next film you're making? You're not leaving, are you? No, King B, I'm not. Um, no. Um, I have a lot of ideas of what my next movie is going to be, but I just don't want to announce anything yet. Because right now I'm slowly starting scripts of new projects. Ryan, what's your next film you going to do? You're not leaving, are you? Please respond. Yeah, I'm not leaving filmmaking. I'm not leaving filmmaking. Ryan will respond when he's finished the commentary on his newest film or when he sees your comment. Please have patience. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you, Kaylee. Yeah, this is just the beginning, guys. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. I'm far from done. I'm far from done. And these shots here were easy and hard to film. It was all about just getting the right lighting and stuff, but I had to use the same kind of lighting for the shots with the the victims and then Freddy, and like making that look like the same set because when they're up against that wall, that was shot at my grandparents' house in the basement. And then all the footage of Freddy Krueger here, that was my Uncle Gary in his basement. And it was me mixing that footage together with color grading, with the steam around them, the smoke, and trying to make it all feel like they're in the same scene. Add sound effects, like I did everything I could to make the audience believe that the characters are in the same scene and that it's not shot separately. And it looks like it was all filmed like the same day. Um, so it was challenging, but it was also fun because it's having the audience believe, you know, that these characters are in the same scene, yet they're not. It's two different states and two different months, two different times in history. But this was fun though, and it turned out really well. I'm really happy about it. But of course, if I could have had my Uncle Gary, if I could have had him fly out here, that would have been amazing because then he would have had actual scenes with them. That you would have saw them like both in the same frame, and it just would have been more in your face and stuff. So, but this was the only way I could make this movie. This was the only way, and I had to really think hard. How am I going to make this movie and make it work? I've had to watch myself cry for months. It's not fun. Um, editing myself cry. And I even had to do a reshoot of myself crying because I wanted it to look really good, like a close up of me there. Um, but yeah, that was hard though. Um, my sister was there, so she was really nice to me and calm with me, and she's like, think about, a family member, dying, and something really sad. And then I started to think of something really sad and things that I'm, worried about or whatever, and like just kind of let that out. And so yeah, it's real tears, but it was not easy. It was definitely not easy. I just wanted like acting in this movie because I was in theater as a kid. Like I just wanted good acting in this movie. I didn't want cheesy B movie acting. So I'm really grateful that for Asia for the and for Asia and Liam and Carla and my Uncle Gary. I mean, just how amazing they all are in this movie, and how real this feels. Like so much of this doesn't feel like a fan film, and that's what I love about it. No, here's the debate, between Jess and Danny. Like, okay, who's gonna go into the dream world and try to, defeat Freddy Krueger? Who's gonna bring him out into the real world and kind of thing? Like, who's gonna do it? And Danny wants to because he doesn't want anything to happen to Jess because they're best friends. And even though, but Jess's character is from Pennsylvania, and she moved to Springwood, Ohio. And she's been living there for about a year and a half. So that's why her accent is very PA and not Ohio accent, because her character moved to Springwood. Characters move to Springwood, all the time. So um, if people are confused by like accents in the movie, that just means the character's from another place, another state, and they moved there. So here is like Danny's not happy that Jess is going into the dream world, that he very well could lose her in this moment, and that this is it. But he has to support his best friend and what she wants to do, and this is her choice. So the timer on the watch, that was fun. The Apple Watch, because you haven't seen an Apple Watch in a Nightmare movie, yet. But like obviously they would use one if they made a Nightmare movie now. He says, "You're in my world now. You're in my world now." I don't know why some of the auto-generated subtitles pick up some of the words wrong. So if you guys have watched this movie with subtitles, I'm like sorry that the AI generated on YouTube like picks up some of the dialogue wrong. So some of these music tracks were from Soundcrate, like movie trailer music, and I thought that it worked in some places. Even though I had Chris Abrams do the score for the movie, and he did an amazing job with recreating themes from the previous movies, and Tuesday Night remake song, Nightmare at the end of the movie, like that was all great, but some parts just needed a little bit more. I love that where she disappears from the dream world, she goes back into the real world, she just like disappears, and then he's like, "Wait," and then she wakes up. I love that. I love that. And then you see like the slashes on her arm. And he's like, "I'll get you yet." Dun 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 dun. I love that. It's a great sequence there. And then this is where my character Danny is like, "No, he just got you in the arm. You almost died. Let me do this. I will defeat Freddy Krueger, or I'll try to defeat Freddy Krueger." So he's like, "No, let me, go into the dream world. You already tried. Let me do this. I don't, because if you go back in the dream world, he could very well, get you. So I'm going to take the chance." And so he wants to protect his friends. He's a very dedicated friend, which is really cool. It's cool to see that, a dedicated friend. And also the character Danny like is like a representation of how I think a lot of people view me, because inside I struggle a lot with like mental disorders and my PTSD and stuff like that, where people don't really know what's going on inside. Um, and so making this movie, it was almost just like playing a character that everyone thinks that I'm normal, or I have everything, that I can do everything in this world, kind of thing. And when I can't. I don't talk about a lot of this stuff on my channel because I like to just focus on my content and stuff. I'll probably open up more in the future about um, that kind of stuff. But anyway, this I wanted to play a character that where people view me the way that I think they view me. Um, and not 100% though, because Danny is his own character. Danny is not me. Yeah, like Danny, he can. I'm not even gonna get into it, but he he he's smarter. He's smarter than me. He has a higher IQ. You know, when you watch movies and you wish life could be like the movies. When I watch my character Danny, I wish I was him. I wish I had his life and his intelligence and stuff. And yeah, I envy a character that I created. But you know, that's the beauty of art. You know that how it can make you feel, how it can make so many people feel in all different kind of ways. This song here was from Chris, and I wanted him to basically redo the theme of when Nancy was setting the traps in the original movie when she, has like the hammer and like everything. She's setting up everything in her house when she would bring him out of the dream. I wanted to go back to that and like just recreate that theme with Danny, pouring gasoline everywhere and just getting everything ready. I wanted to do a callback to that. And this would be my first like supernatural kind of movie since my Twilight short. Because most of my movies are grounded in reality, where it could really happen. This, it's your dreams. There's that fantasy element to it that, of course, some man in your dreams can't kill you. Um, and oh yeah, you can bring him out of the dream into the real world. I mean, it's more far fetched than Michael Myers and Jason. Because Jason and Michael, even though there's fantasy to their characters, they're a little more grounded in reality. Now, Freddy is explaining here that this isn't just a regular boiler room he's using. This is his actual basement. This is Danny's basement. He turned Danny's basement into a boiler room for him and his friends for these nightmares. Because Danny's house is a house in Springwood that he hasn't explored yet. And he just wanted to choose them. Like, there wasn't really any reason except for that there's obviously that suspense that, like, Danny and his friends, their parents were victims of Freddy during that Freddy versus Jason era, like around there. Um, I could have like went into that more and explained that more, but I just didn't want. I didn't want over exposition on the movie. But yeah, I'd say that the parents are from that early 2000s time, and yeah. So it's almost like I don't have to explain everything. Kind of. It's also up to the audience to like be aware of some things and kind of make their own assumptions. It's just the effects are so good. Like that mask is so good, and the glove. I'm like this is like too good. Like for my movie, like it looks like too good. It's all he's like all slimy and gross, and you see the denture, like his bad teeth. Like this is Freddy. Like it's just crazy. Now this is here where he explains. They assume it's natural causes. When I show people what I do to them in the dream world. But unlike your friends, I'm going to show everybody what I do to you. So he's explaining to Danny that he has the power to control what people see in the real world of his victims when Freddy kills them. so he can make it look like natural causes or that something legit happened to them. Um, and establishing that there, because I know that bothers a lot of people, including myself, that the sequels never explain that. People of Springwood have risen to destroy you. Now that's really the reason why it's called Rise of Elm Street. It's the people of Springwood standing up against Freddy and defeating that evil, defeating that dark, defeating the demon, and them um, keeping their town intact and not letting Freddy take over the town and keeping Springwood, peaceful. And if it takes everyone in Springwood to destroy Freddy, that's what it'll take. So this is the rise of Elm Street, especially that this is set 20 years later from Freddy versus Jason. Now here's CGI fire. Now this is real fire. I love that shot of me where you see me run up the stairs and then you see the fire from behind me. Like I wanted this movie to have like cool shots like that where it's like you've never seen that from my movies before. Things that I've learned throughout the years that I wanted to include. And if I could have done this all practically, then I would have. I just don't have that budget. So I had to do CGI was the only way I could go with it. But hopefully you guys like the CGI. Hopefully it looks good. I know it's not ILM. I know it's not Marvel. I know it's not, the greatest CGI effects you've ever seen in the world. But I hope it's good enough that it gets the job done. I have to thank my sister a whole lot as well. She helped me with these effects. So I thank her a lot for that. And here we are, the last scene of the movie. Got him, didn't you? I could see it in your eyes. I got him.
Yes. Yes.
For now. Facts. I had to ADR this like so many times, and Asia, we had to ADR like this last scene so many times because when we were filming, it was like summer day. You could hear all noises, and because the movie has rain sound effects and all that stuff. We had to ADR our dialogue so it would sound good because it's the last scene of the movie, and you want audio, to be the best at the very end of the movie. You want the last dialogue that the characters say to be the most clear. So, but yeah, it turned out really well. I'm really happy. We have this technology that that I can make it look like night. There's the lightning there. And that is Rise of Elm Street. This song here is from Chris Abrams, the composer of the movie, and what I wanted him to do was create his own remake version of Tuesday Night's Nightmare from Dream Master. I wanted him to do his version and make it like eerie and like atmospheric and just like his version of it, but staying true to also what that original song was. And because I didn't quite know exactly what was going to be the end credit song, but I wanted it to be a good song, and I'm really grateful that Chris scored this and everything he did with the music for this movie. It all turned out really great, and I'm really really happy. I love this song. Like when he sent it to me, I mean, he created 3 different versions of the song as well. Because there was things I wanted him to change, so he changed some things with the song as well throughout. But the final version, like I just listened to that like nonstop. Because I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be so good in the movie. And I wanted to put this song in the movie like earlier, not at the very end. But I thought the end was the best place to put it. But it will be in the final trailer, guys, which is coming out on Friday. The final trailer will be coming out on Friday. So hope you guys enjoy that. Running from this nightmare, running from this nightmare. It's just, yeah. I mean, like, wow, this is the movie. I made this. I made it. I made Rise of Elm Street. It's here, and you guys can watch it and watch it again and again as many times as you guys want. It's here. Like, yes. Oh, I'm so relieved. Oh my God. But so much of what I learned from this movie, um, like, I can't imagine how my next movie is going to be. Like everything I learned from this, like it just gets better from here. It doesn't go lower. I just go higher from here, really. So yeah, um, that is Rise of Elm Street. That was my comment live commentary for you guys. So anybody that watches this, when it's um, uh, when this live stream is done, then you guys can watch the movie played at the same time that I did and listen to my commentary again if you guys want. All right, now I'll read you guys' message. My bad. Um, Freddie talking in this movie just feels so right. Jamie's death hurt, just like watching it hurt my heart. Yeah, yeah. Jamie's scene is very sad, and that was the point. Is I wanted it to be a really, really sad scene, and I wanted it to be um, just heart wrenching, and like you feel bad, the character dies, and I want the audience to feel bad, I want them to feel something, I don't want it to just a character dies and like okay. With Nightmare on Elm Street, it's a drama. Like when I made this movie, it felt like I was making more a drama than a slasher movie. It felt different from my other movies in that sense. Because even though it had this all the supernatural elements and all this stuff, it felt very much like a drama because it's to me the movie is about friendship. It's about Danny and his friends. It's about Jess and Jamie and them trying to survive Freddy Krueger and their friendship, their relationship, and the relationship with their parents and all the drama going on in their lives. Like that's to me is what the film is. That's what the story is, and that's what it felt like mostly when I was making the movie, more so than a slasher film. It didn't feel like one. Um, it so yeah, it definitely had more of a drama feel to it. Freddie, your actors felt very 1984 Elm Street tier of acting, independent film actors. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kaylee. I mean, I was trying to go for modernizing these characters. I wanted a Gen Z style, to these characters. I mean, these are, kids in high school in 2024. This takes place in 2024. Um, and, they have to be this new generation, that, I mean, the way millennials, the way we talked is different from how Gen Zs talk. I'm now learning these words cap, facts, sus, uh, uh, all these new kind of phrases of things that I were when I was on set, I was talking to Liam because Liam is early 20s, and I asked Liam like, "Hey, um, what are like the main things that Gen Z say? Like what are like phrases that words they use and stuff?" And so we kept facts, sus. We used some form of dialogue that would be realistic of like of people today. Um, and so uh, but yeah, at the same time, I do like that they have a 1984 feel at the same time. Um, so I feel like it's a mix. I think they feel like 84 and then they feel like today. I feel like it's a mix of both. Um, Freddie on his knees before Danny is such a powerful shot. Yes, I love that because it's like when Freddy is completely powerless, you know, Freddy has no power by that point. Like, you know, Danny has the power, you know, and I love that. I love that. I love that moment. It's such a great moment. Um, and because like Danny looks so tall and Freddy looks so small, you know, and um, it's just so cool. Um, uh, how everything was shot and how everything worked out. Um, I did want to redo the ending. I'm not gonna lie, I did want to redo the ending because I did feel like the ending could have been better than it is. Um, but my uncle Gary likes the ending, and so because he liked it, I didn't go out to Chicago and reshoot it. Because if he was happy with it, then I was happy with it. But effects are so good. Thank you so much. Um, I really tried. That rendition of Tuesday Night Song is so damn good. It makes it makes us feel like conclusive as the final nightmare, trying every tying everything back to the original films. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, I was that's what I was going for. That's what I was trying to accomplish was that feeling. But obviously not in a cheesy way, you know, like what Nightmare 6 did. I mean, the Final Nightmare, you know, it was that was a very cheesy movie. I didn't want it to be cheesy. Um Congrats on making this film. It's so good, and you should be as proud of it as Wes was of his because this is fantastic. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Kaylee. You say the nicest things to me. Thank you so much. Like you are amazing. You are the GOAT, and thank you just so much. Thank you like for like everything. And I am so sorry I did not make you moderator yet. So sorry. Now you're moderator. I apologize. I forgot to make you my mod. But yes, um, Sam Hannix is my moderator, and yeah. So if I were to pick anyone to be my moderator, it would be Sam Hannix. Um, yeah, Kaylee. Yeah, you're amazing. Um, so King B, are you still there? It's been so fun to hang out with you on this and hear your thoughts beat for beat through the movie. Thank you. Yeah, I mean that's what this you know it's what this live stream is for is to hang out you know with my subscribers you know hang out with you you know to hang out with you know people that care about my movies and care about um you know my content my channel and I'm just very grateful to have you as one of my subscribers. Like, thank you for all your support throughout all these years. Like, truly. Um, and yeah, it's I'm more than happy to discuss the movie with you and with everyone. You know, I mean, this is channel is called RBR Short Films. You know, 13. You know, I mean, short films. You know, like that. That's so I'm here to talk about my films. You know, that's what my channel is about. So. Um, Yeah, and I think I'm still numb that this movie is done. I mean, not only Rise of Elm Street is completed, but New Ghostface is completed. Both of those movies are completed. And I was filming New Ghostface um like from July to October of 2023. Then I got surgery after that. So I was I had to recover for a while from that. Um but um once I did recover from surgery, then I was like, all right, I'm making another movie. Even though I still had New Ghostface to edit, I wanted to film another movie before I went into editing New Ghost because New Ghostface still wasn't going to come out till December 25th of 2024. So to me, that gave me time to not only write a script, but to film another movie as well. And I got it all done. And so by the time July hit, I was able to edit New Ghostface, and I edited that movie until December. And then once that was done, then I had to go ahead and edit Rise of Elm Street right after that. So it was one project to another project, and going from Scream to Nightmare. And then if you count like the filming process, that went from filming a Scream movie to filming a Nightmare movie. And then going back to editing a Scream movie, and then going into editing a Nightmare movie for the first time. So uh, I have definitely overwhelmed myself, but we entered a pandemic in 2020, and that slowed down everything. I mean, that slowed down my whole process of my films and everything. So once many people were able to get back out in the world after that, I knew that I had to make at least four short films in a short amount of time and get them all out. Um, because we were in that pandemic for a long time, and I didn't want to be a forgotten YouTuber. Um, I didn't want to be forgotten as a content creator. So once we exited out of that pandemic, then I was ready to go for keeping my channel going. And I mean, we all have regrets, but I don't have too many regrets. Um, I'm very, very grateful and lucky and happy with how my channel has turned out, how my movies have turned out. That it could always be worse, and of course, my films can always be better. But I keep learning and learning as time goes on, and hopefully, people see that, and that my next movies are going to be just a step up from this. It just I have so many stories to tell for you guys. I have so many movies that I want to make, and I'm very excited to get started. But right now, I mean, now in 2025, I'm going to be writing scripts for my next movies, and reading. I'm getting back into reading again, and I'm just going to be reading and writing for a long time. And and then once I go through that process, then I can make a decision of which exact script I'm going to choose to film, that I'm going to direct next. I just want to give myself a variety, because I have so many stories. I have so many characters and worlds that I want to tell, and I don't want to overwhelm myself. I want to manage it all the best way I can, and so I'm thinking very deep about it all, and instead of just announcing my next movie and this is going to be that and this is going to be that, I want to make sure that whatever script I announce, that it's the movie I actually want to go with, and and make it. Do you still feel like this is going to be your last fan film, or will that Hellraiser fan film peek its head into your film slate in the future? That's a great question. Really is. It's a great question. I oh the Rise of Pinhead movie, that the Hellraiser fan film that I was going to make. That was originally what I was going to make after New Ghostface, and I was going to film that as well before editing New Ghostface, because Rise of Pinhead was going to be like a 10-minute movie, 10 to like 15 minutes. It was going to be like the Twilight short, where it's like a sequence. It's a sequence, and I wanted to make the movie like that because of effects and budget and all that stuff. So I wanted to make the Hellraiser fan film one of my shorter short films. But once my Uncle Gary showed me on camera randomly one night that that he had this Freddy Krueger mask that he spent thousands of dollars on, which was the Dream Master one. And he got a new one just recently that's even better than the one that was used in Rise of Elm Street. Um, he showed me the dentures, like everything, the glove, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, if you would have had this like 15 years ago, oh my God. I was like, I was speechless. And then I had to think really deep about it, really hard about it. Like, am I going to make Rise of Pinhead or am I going to make Rise of Elm Street? And I went ahead and I called my Uncle Gary and I said, hey, I'm going to be making Rise of Pinhead, but I'm going to ask you one more time after all these years, hey, do you want to make a Nightmare fan film? Because this is last time I'm going to ask you. And he said yes. Um, and I was shocked that he said yes. Because I said, you have this costume now, you have that mask, you have the replica of Nightmare 4. Like, like how would we not make this movie? And so I went ahead and made that instead. So Rise of Pinhead, I would say, isn't really an option anymore for me. Um, I can't, it's hard for me to say never on any project because I really don't know what the future holds. Um, but it was a project that I was interested in at that time and not so much now. I did see the Hellraiser re-release that came out earlier this year. That was really fun. It was released in 4K for the first time. That was really, really cool. But yeah, I just don't have any plans for a Hellraiser movie by this point. Now, if you guys, messaged me, uh, insanely and were begging me to make a Pinhead movie, then yeah, I would go ahead. But you guys have to really want that movie, if I were to make that. Um, uh, oh, Zach. Hey, Zach. Hey, man. Hey, my after work thing is running late, but I got some quiet time while here, so stop in and say hi. Oh, thanks, Zach. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Rise of Elm Street live stream. Um, yeah, yeah. I just had a watch party, with um, some Hannix, uh, and yeah, we watched the whole film. I did a whole commentary on it, and anybody that was in the live stream when I was playing the movie got to watch it. Um, and yeah, and now Sam Hennix is my moderator from here on out for my live streams. I trust her, and she's been a subscriber for years. So it's not me just picking a random person to be my moderator or someone that I only known for like a month or whatever on YouTube. Like I've known Kaylee for a long time, uh, so I trust her to be my mod. But Zach, if you ever want to be one of my moderators, you could. I would not be against that because you're one of my favorite subscribers. People that have subscribed to me throughout the years. I mean, really, you and Kaylee have been the most amazing to me. So, uh, your uncle sounds so cool. Yes, he is. He is cool. I mean, he is just. I mean, he's definitely unique. But he's hilarious. Yes, he's very, very funny, and man, I love him. Go with your heart and passion in choosing your next movie. The fans' passion is good, but if you're not passionate about it, you'll just burn out on the project. Exactly. I only want to make projects that I want to make, and because I have to dedicate myself to that project, beginning to end, the writing, the directing, the editing, like all those three different processes of making a movie. I have to be dedicated. It has to be a project that I really want to do. And if I'm working on a project that I don't want to work on, what am I doing? You know. Um, so thank you for saying that you'll just burn out on the project. Like, yeah, that is true. Um, So yeah, the fan's passion is good, yes. But if I'm not passionate about it, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Aroy00, sup, bro? Hey, man. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Funny story. I'm pretty sure I found your page from your sister. She tried selling me a roof repair, and I had a bunch of horror tattoos, so she told me to search your page up. Oh, cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah, that's my sister. She does what work is that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, my sister's all about repairing things, fixing stuff. She loves doing all that. She loves remodeling homes and renovating, like just like all that stuff. My sister loves that stuff. Um, uh, okay, so she tried selling you a roof repair. Okay, and you got a bunch of horror tattoos. That's awesome. Still have no hair. I have no horror tattoos. I'm not saying never to one because I've thought about it, like for my like 30th birthday, like should I you know get a tattoo? But at the same time, I'm only going to get a tattoo if I feel ready to get a tattoo because that tattoo's on your body, forever. So it's a commitment. It's and it's something that you're not going to regret, and look back at. So it's a lot to think about a tattoo. But it's something I love tattoos though. I love tattoos. Thank you for joining the stream, Roy. If that's how I pronounce your name, Roy O, or a Roy 00. Um, that's cool. You know my sister. That's so cool. Yeah, Cassidy's awesome. I love her. King B, you're here. Okay, I asked you that like 10 minutes ago. So no, I did not forget you. Um, no. But King B, I'm gonna need you to um uh I'm gonna have to ask you politely to not please be so dramatic. Um, okay. You've done this almost every single live stream or almost every video that you comment on. Don't forget me. I'm here. Please respond. Like, please, with asking you in the most polite way possible. Just please tone it back a bit. Thank you, King B. Uh, the mark of thorn from Halloween would be my own personal choice if I ever got the courage for a tattoo, or maybe the pumpkin from the first Halloween. Yeah, those would be some cool tattoos. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be awesome. That is cool. Yeah, I'd be honored to be a mod sometime. You'd be honored? All right. Well then I will just make you one then. No time to wait, right? Life is short. I'm making you my moderator now. Um, I've got only two horror-related tattoos so far. The Mark of Thorn on my right wrist. Nice! And the Jaws poster shark on my left arm. Oh, nice! That's awesome. That's awesome, Zach. That's awesome. Wow. No, it's okay, King. Just I get it. I'm I remember you. You. I remember you, and I hear you out, and I read every comment that you post or ever in the live chat. So don't worry, I'm not ever ignoring you. Um, I don't ignore my subscribers. That's not, no, absolutely not. Aroy 00, or Aroy 00. I've got Freddy, Michael, Jason, and Chucky on my chest. Also have the creeper eye from Jeepers Creepers. Oh, nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, it's so cool. Uh, um, well, do you have like a favorite slasher of all that you have tattooed of Freddy, Michael, Jason, Chucky, the Creeper? Like, do you have a favorite of all those slashers? Um, uh, Dead Deadly Slayer says, I got Ghostface tattooed on me for my first. Oh, cool, cool. I've thought about Ghostface. I have. I mean, Ghostface is a big part of my life. Ghostface really is. Um, yeah, and I don't know. I may very well may get a Ghostface tattoo someday. I have no idea. But that's really cool. Now, like which like Ghostface like image did you get of it tattooed? Like, is it just a regular one, or was it like a shot from like the movies? You know, was it like is it a specific kind of Ghostface tattoo? King B says, "I just like your fan films." Thank you so much. Thank you. That means the world to me that you like my fan films. Thank you. Thank you. Now, these fan films, these are for you guys. I mean, they're for me as well because it's me getting the opportunity of the experience of what it would be like to make a Halloween movie, to make a nightmare movie, to make a Friday. I mean, the impossible, the movies that I would never get a chance to make, Um, and I love that. But also they're for you guys, because I understand and feel the same way that many of you do about horror and horror movies today. I get it. I feel that like and we need Jason, we need Freddy, we need these icons back. We got Michael Myers, for a while. Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. We're even getting a Halloween show. But I think people are Halloweened out, and people want Freddy to come back. They want Jason to come back. Terrifier 3 was so highly successful. And why was that so successful? Because Terrifier movies are like the way nightmare movies were, and Friday the 13th, and the way 80s horror was. And to me, 80s horror is like the golden age of horror, and Terrifier really captures that. So it's not like the gore about those movies that I love. It's the fact that Damien Leone brings back so much of what worked for the horror genre that went away in the 90s, that went away in the 2000s, and to the 2010s. But we got it back with him. I mean, we almost got it back with Jeepers Creepers. We almost did, but wasn't really until Terrifier, where the horror genre is making a comeback of like how it was decade before I was born. So I'm really happy about that. Um, King B says, "Won't you do the Bates Motel? You would be good to play Norman Bates." Oh, thank you. People say I would play a good Jeffrey Dahmer as well. That I have quite a crazy story about that. I have literally have ran into probably 3 people in my life that have said I look like Jeffrey. Oh my God, Jeffrey Dahmer. I sound like him. I look like him. And then like they were always the ones like obsessed and like were like hitting on me or like oh man, I don't know what it is with some people. They have the obsession with serial killers and they want to be with people that look like serial killers. I mean, that look like that person. Um, uh, like and that comparison of me was like before that show on Netflix, before the monster show. But it also that occurred after the monster show. So, um, I got the picture from Scream 4, probably my favorite looking Ghostface costume, and it's the one where we had the knife holding up next to his face. Ah, okay. So I got the picture from Scream 4. Okay. But it's the one where we had the knife holding up next to his face. That is okay. Nice. That is awesome. That is awesome. Um, that is really cool, Deadly Slayer. Um, Terrifier 2 and 3 are GOAT for modern slashers. They are. They are. They just are. I mean, you know, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. Um, And I don't. And then I gotta bring out my Terrifier collection real quick. This is what I got recently from Umbrella. It took months for it to come in the mail, but I had to get it, and it's all three Terrifier movies. It comes with a book and comes with All Hallows Eve on Terrifier Blu-ray, and the first one is in 4K HDR Blu-ray Dolby Vision for the very first time. So they're all in 4K, new bonus features, and it's just amazing. And not only that, did I get that, but then like back in December, I got this. So yeah, I'll tell you, like I'm a big fan of Terrifier, and I wasn't like when it first came out. Like not at all. The first one was on Netflix, I think, and I watched it once, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. But when the second one came out, that's where I was like, oh, this is something. And then when the third one was being made, and it was it was talked about being a Christmas slasher film, and it was going to be like Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas, all these classics. I was like, are you kidding me? Just by that teaser trailer, I was like, there was so much like knots in my stomach. I'm like, oh my God, can I actually sit through this? Can I handle this? How bad is this going to be? So when I was with that audience opening night, it was packed. Every seat was full except for like the front row, the very front. Every seat was full. People were dressed as Art the Clown. I mean, it was like that was an event. And that was a movie that wasn't made by Hollywood, and it's NC-17. Like like it was like the unprecedented, and it was amazing the way audiences were reacting. There was laughs, there were like shock moments, there was clapping. Like it felt I felt like I was with an audience for a horror movie that I really haven't sat with an audience like that in years. Like that was just an amazing experience I had. Anyway, and I dressed up as Art the Clown for Halloween. I did. I went to a Halloween party with my sister, and like everyone was the most wowed by my costume, and I went all out with the costume. I got like the glasses and like just like everything, the horn, um, and that was super fun. Was to go as Art the Clown. Um, Sienna Miller really made the entire thing come together. She's like Laurie Strode for the 2020s. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Like Sienna is my favorite final girl after Sydney. After Sydney Prescott, I would say Sienna. Like you have the classics, Nancy, Laurie, Alice. People don't talk about Alice a lot from the original Friday the 13th, but she should, because she's in the original, she's in the beginning of the second one. Like Alice is the final girl, of like the original Friday movies. And yes, Jenny as well. Yes, Jenny as well. But like Alice, Jenny, Lori, Nancy, Sydney, um, uh, it's just Sienna really captures that, like, um that vibe of how of those final girls. And she does bring a lot of Nev Campbell, you know, energy to her, which is really great. But she also is like her own final girl, and has elements to her that we haven't seen in a final girl. So, and her acting is like not over the top at all. Like it's on bar. It's perfect. Like her PTSD and everything. Like the acting is like perfect. Like it's like there. Like it's not over the top. It's not too like low. Like her acting is on that perfect wave level. Um, Man, I've subscribed to you like five different YouTube accounts over the years. Been watching you since I was 10. I'm 22 now. Oh wow. At least, oh wow. Did you have a different YouTube name back then? Not sure if I remember Deadly Slayer. I might remember Deadly Slayer. Um, that does sound familiar. So did you subscribe to me like back when, like the beginning of my channel, like 2009, or like what year? People actually walked out of my screening, and I felt like I was living an old newspaper article from the 1980s. Yes, how I felt too. That's how I felt too, Kaylee. That's how I felt. It felt that way because people were walking out of my theater too. The very beginning, it wasn't so much, except for people walked out after the shower scene, but it was also that very beginning of the movie, which is, I guess, now one of the most controversial openings to a film of all time, and 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 I get why it's controversial, but it's honestly one of my favorite openings to a movie. I mean, what a way to start your movie, seriously. And not only that, but Terrifier 3, why the movie like is just wowing is that it felt like almost like a reboot. Even though it wasn't, it still felt like a sequel to the second movie. And the first one, it felt like, a true sequel and all that. But it was like the quality of the movie, because the budget was so much higher than the first two movies, it felt like a reboot. Like the cinematography, the way that I mean, the performances, like it's just the acting is so much better than the first two movies. The way it's shot, the a lot of the effects, it's just it felt like it didn't feel mainstream though. It didn't feel mainstream. It just felt higher budget. Um, but it's all in a good way though. It's not like uh, it doesn't feel mainstream though to me. It doesn't. It still has an independent feel to it. Um, but some lady brought her little kids to Terrifier 3, and I guess didn't realize it until Art started hacking up that family. Oh, yes. I know. I saw that too. I saw parents take their kids to Terrifier 3. I saw that. I mean, that was crazy. Um, and not only that, but like kids were sneaking into Terrifier 3. I remember reading about that because there was the movie that was playing at the same time, which was, God, what was that movie that came out? Um, uh, it was like the most popular animated film, highest grossing animated film last year. But instead of that movie, that of them seeing it, they snuck into Terrifier 3, even though they had tickets for that film. So it just reminds me of classic 70s 80s horror, because um my mom, when she was like 9 years old, she walked to see Halloween, the original Halloween, by herself. Um, and so it just when I heard that kids were sneaking into the movie, it just like I'm I'm like, wow, there's like a repeat of history of like the 70s and 80s here. When kids would do that back when came out and Friday the 13th and Halloween. So Terrifier has become that much of a phenomenon. It really it has, to where it's no longer that low budget movie that the first one was. It's now a franchise. Imagine how the fourth movie is going to look. I mean, I can't imagine how the production value will be on the fourth one. I can't imagine how it's going to look. Um, if you had the opportunity to make a big budget film, would you want to make an original piece, or would you want to bring back an iconic slasher? I would want to make an original piece. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, an original slasher for sure. I would not want to uh, just do what's been done. I mean, sadly, that's a lot, like, in Hollywood, that's only that sells now is sequels, brands, I mean, franchises that have been around for decades, and, making sequels to that. That's why we're getting a new Alien movie, we're getting a new Predator, we're getting a new Jurassic World movie, um, we're getting a Goonies movie. I mean, we're getting, like, all these movies that are coming out, the next Shrek, the next Toys R Us, like, it's all titles, franchises that have existed forever because Hollywood is afraid to take risks. They are scared. They are scared. And so there's a reason why there's been movies that haven't been funded by Hollywood that have made millions of dollars, um, being distributed in theaters, because people are tired of unoriginality. They want to see fresh ideas. They want to see stuff that hasn't been done. People really do want that. But Hollywood doesn't want to take that risk. Instead, they want to do what's been proven, what's been done, what can be successful, and let's just go with that. And it's really sad because like art, and originality, that's like gone in Hollywood now because all they want to do is a repeat of everything. And it's really sad. It's really sad. It's just sad. But yeah. I started watching when you released Halloween November 1st, maybe like a month after you released it. Oh wow, so you were like one of my first subscribers. You're an OG. All right, Deadly Slayer. Awesome. Zach, you said the jump in quality between Terrifier and Terrifier 2 feels like the jump between Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. Yes, exactly. Like it's so much higher like quality and budget, but it's like still a direct sequel. It still is heavily connected and it feels all in sync. It's just so much better, like everything. Um, the Wild Robot, yeah, yeah. Did you see Sinners? It's so freaking good. Trailer spoiled a bit, but there was still enough there to be surprised. No, I have not seen this Sinners. I actually never even heard of that movie. If you, Zach, could send me a link on Instagram, um, just to my personal PM of that movie, either an IMDb link or something, I would love that because I that does sound really interesting, and I do want to look into that because I haven't heard about Sinners. Um, if that is a new movie. I'm just so glad Jordan Peele is given so much freedom with his projects in Hollywood. Yes. Yep, I agree. I agree, Kaylee. I definitely agree with you on that. Because the director should be given creative control. Regardless if that is going to that the movie turns out good or bad, directors deserve creative control, and they deserve the final cut. They always deserve the final cut. I just got your I just got your link, Zach. Thank you so much. Um, uh, Um, I'm sorry, where was I? Um, yes, the director should be given the final cut of their movie, and the studio should not be given the final cut. I mean, already directors have to deal with the MPAA, you know, which it's amazing people don't talk about the MPA anymore when they're censoring movies more now than ever. Like, I mean, it's that's insane, like how much they censor now. And as a filmmaker, and for other filmmakers, it's really sad because it limits what we can do, and what we can bring to life on the big screen, or it really holds us back, and we have to make movies. We have to tell our stories, more toned down. We have to cut back on certain things, and just so we can have an audience for it. Um, and that's really difficult as a filmmaker. So we really have to deal with censorship. So it's for a studio to say, you don't get the final cut on this movie. We do, and yeah, the movie isn't good because we're taking out this scene. We don't care because it's our cut of the movie. That's not how Hollywood used to be. Directors were given the final cut. Um, but I think some producers make an exception now. Like if it comes to like David Gordon Green with the new Halloween movies, I think he was given the final cut on all three of those movies. Um, so regardless, Halloween Ends, whether you guys love or hate that movie, he had the right to be given the final cut. And we have every right to hate that movie, or we have every right to love that movie. But filmmakers should be given final cut always. Um, did you play the Until Dawn game? If so, any thoughts on the movie that's coming out? No, I've heard of Until Dawn, but I've never played it before. No. Um, uh, I've been playing. I mean, in terms of like since 2015, Friday the 13th video game until it no longer became playable. RIP Friday the 13th, the video game, guys. That is really sad. Friday 13th video game. That's a gem. And now we've lost it. You know, the DLC, it's all gone. Um, you know, and gun media, they will never be like forgiven for that. But yeah, like that game, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the video game, um, Dead by Daylight, Resident Evil, Fear, Manhunt. Those are the horror video games that I've played. Um, but I've never played Until Dawn. Um, your thoughts on Scream 7? You know, I'm gonna go back to your question kindly, share. Thank you for joining the live stream. Thank you so much. I'm gonna answer your question. Just hold on. Warner and Disney are awful for creative freedom and the final cut. I love some of their stuff, but ouch, they can do so much better. Hopeful for Superman though. Yes, 100% agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. I mean, this is stuff I've talked about with people for years now. Um, I mean, it's just not fair. I mean, J.J. Abrams, he had a cut of Rise of Skywalker, and Disney went behind his back and they created their final cut of the movie. I think it was actually they did four different final cuts of the movie after his director's cut. Um, and that probably would explain a lot, you know, about that film. And but then you have The Last Jedi, where Ryan Johnson was actually given the final cut by Kathleen Kennedy. So I would say sometimes the director getting the final cut isn't the best thing, but regardless how I feel about that movie, yes, Ryan Johnson did deserve the final cut. Yes. Um, I didn't play Until Dawn, but the movie is being directed by David F. Sandberg, who did Lights Out and Annabelle Creation, so I'm optimistic to see it tomorrow. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, then you know what? I'm gonna have to play this game Until Dawn. Now, is it on Xbox Series S and X, or I mean, or is it only on the PS4? I mean, like, how do I play this game? Like, where is it available? Still keep videos and photos of Tom Savini, Hell, Jason from Friday the 13th, the game. That was one amazing concept. Yeah, yep, yep, yep. And thankfully, I have gameplay recorded videos of Friday the 13th, the game, back when it was playable online and stuff, and I had DLC. I think I might actually just put those all together, you know, and upload a video sometime on it. I mean, why not? Um, oh, it's a PlayStation exclusive. Okay, okay. Is it a PS5 exclusive or is it on the PS4? Because I have a PS4, I don't have a PS5 because I have the new Xbox. So if it is on the PS4, then I can still get it, but I might have to wait until I get a PS5. Um, or I'm honestly even thinking about waiting to get a PlayStation 6 because PlayStation 6 is going to be like in a year, you know? So I'm almost like, should I just wait? Okay, it's on the PS4. Okay, all right. Okay, all right, all right. Now the question from Kindly Share was, don't your thoughts on Scream 7? Yes. I really don't like talking about this movie, Scream 7. There's a lot of controversy about it, and so I just don't really like to get into it. It's like the most controversial Scream movie of all time, and it's just you, regardless how you anybody like talks about this, you're going to be attacked, you know, one way or the other. So it's just something that it's really hard to talk about Scream 7. In fact, it's the first Scream movie that I haven't done news on for it, and given updates and all that stuff. Like all the previous Scream movies, I would like always give updates and done all reaction videos and like because I love the Scream franchise. Um, uh, but I love it. I love it to death. I I will always appreciate and what Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson did with that first movie, and with Scream 2. Um, and even Scream 4. Scream 4 was the millennial Scream movie. That was amazing. I have so many Scream 4 memories. Um, and it's a franchise that's been around for a long time, and it's a big part of my life with my fan films and friends that I've made and friendships that I've lost. And Scream 5 I thought was really, really good. I love Scream 6. I truly love Scream 6 despite its flaws. I still love it. Um, uh, you hopped, it's dark. Yeah, the controversy is just really, really bad. It's really bad. I don't even want to talk about the movie. I mean, I'll do a reaction video to the trailer, when it comes out. But it's just I just don't really feel like talking about Scream 7, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's Scream 7, probably the most anticipated horror movie right now. Um, but I'd much rather talk about I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scary Movie 6 that's coming out, but that they're parroting Michael Myers. I'd rather talk about Terrifier 4. Like, I'd rather talk about other horror films that I'm actually looking forward to. Um, but yeah. Thank you for your question. Kindly share. Um, Scream, the TV series, was very dear to my heart. Same, same here. That show was amazing. The first two seasons are gold. Like, I remember when that show first came out, when that I was like, oh my God. And I was so nervous when that show came out too. I was like, well, Ghostface